Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Crokinole Happy Hour. The goal of this series is to connect all Crokinole enthusiasts, competitive players, and club/tournament organizers. We wanted to create a platform to get information out to the whole Crokinole community to use and share with each other. I just wanted to also put the word out. If anybody wants to get word out on their club or their tournament, to please contact us. We'll either have you on, or we can put out the information for you. And this is all possible by the Extra Pint Crokinole Club and our sponsor, CrokinoleGameBoards.com. You gotta go check them out. Highest quality Crokinole boards and accessories at CrokinoleGameBoards.com. Also check them out on YouTube, Crokinole Game Boards on YouTube. They are always giving back into the Crokinole community. So go and please support them. That's CrokinoleGameBoards.com, built by players for players. Tonight on the Crokinole Happy Hour, we're going to be talking to the president of a club that's near and dear to all the club members of the Voorheesville, New York Extra Pint Crokinole Club. This is another brand new Crokinole club doing a tremendous job exposing the game of Crokinole, providing a great atmosphere for its clubmates and onlookers. Their passion for the game is contagious, which is producing a steady increase in membership every Crokinole night. So please go get that drink, come on back, and let's sit down with Josh M., president of the Houston chapter of the Extra Pint Crokinole Club. All right, welcome to the Crokinole Happy Hour. I want to thank Josh M., the president of the Houston chapter of the Extra Pint Crokinole Club. Josh, thanks for tuning in today. How you doing?
Problem. It's great to see you, man. How's things going up there?
Pretty good, pretty good. I know it's you had some crazy weather. We could have had you on earlier, but I know the day that we were supposed to do this, like a storm came through.
Yeah, I was looking forward, with you and the Vermont guys, and I guess about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, a massive cell came through, knocked out power here in half of Houston, and we didn't get power back on until 5 in the morning. So this is 2020, so what would you expect?
Right, of course. Everything's coming at once.
Yeah.
I see some. What do you got there that you're drinking with us tonight?
This is my favorite beer lately. It's called Hipster Sauce. It's from 11 Below Brewery. Down the road in Texas is about a 20, 30-minute drive. But this is their one of their IPAs, and it's just a good, solid IPA. There's nothing crazy in it. It's just too many breweries nowadays are putting in all sorts of stuff, and I just want an IPA that tastes really good. Yeah, and this is one of them. It's up there with any other ones.
It's just a straightforward, good IPA. That's what you need. I think we have
Simcoe hops in here, and a little bit of Citra, Cascade. I think that's what I'm tasting. I haven't really dug into this. Let's see. Yeah, it's a Mosaic, Citra, and Amarillo hops. So it's a very well balanced, very good IPA. Did you make a double?
Sounds like a West Coast type of style.
Yeah, a little sachet, and that's pretty good too. I prefer just a straight IPA though. And over here, because we were doing whiskeys, I saw Connor going to the Octomore, which is awesome. So I'm a magnificent bastard. If you follow the Whiskey Tribe on YouTube, the whiskey community.
All right.
So I'm an Ardbeg guy. I'm in the cult of Ardbeg. So you'll know what that means. It's a nice, good Scottish, smoky whiskey from Islay. And there's 3 of the big ones. There's Ardbeg, there is Lagavulin, and there's Lefroy. And each one of them has their own kind of cult following, and they give each other a hard time over which is better and things like that. Lagavulin is really thick, oily, and Ardbeg is more sir and lighter, and Lefroy is kind of in the middle. Lefroy is more just smoke. If I had to rank them, I like Ardbeg the 10, the Lagavulin 16, and then the Lefroy. But the Lefroy quarter cask is really good too. Here in Texas, we have an awesome whiskey scene down here. This is Balcones out in Waco, and this whiskey won the quote-unquote Judgment of London. Everyone's heard of the Judgment of Paris with the wine. The California wines beat the French. This was voted best single malt whiskey in the world in 2012.
In the world?
Yes, in the world. So this is an excellent, excellent unpeated Scotch. If you don't like peat, they also make a peated version of this. It's not as good. I'd stick with the Scottish stuff with the peat. But for the unpeated stuff, this is an absolute excellent bottle. It runs about 60 some bucks, and depending on where you are. I looked it up in your area. You can actually get it at All Star Wine. You can't ship it. You can ship wine to your house, but you can't ship booze.
Now, is that a federal law? Is that a New York
State?
State
It's a corn
law?
whiskey. I think it's that we have that don't make any sense. This is another one they make. This is a corn whiskey called Brimstone, but it's smoked in oak brush. So this is very unique. It's like a smoked bourbon.
Oh,
and
wow.
This is that I'm a big fan of that one. What I don't have here is my favorite bourbon is Garrison Brothers, and they're out in High Texas, which is just west of it's west of Austin a little ways.
I've had some of that. That's really good stuff. You're right.
I'm out right now, and they were the guys. Those two guys, the Garrison people and the Balcones people, are they're friends but competitors, type of thing. These guys were first to market. These guys we like Scotch. These guys make really good Scotch style whiskeys. If you like bourbon, Garrison is the best. If you can find it, man, it's the best. And the things that makes these so good in Texas, since we have huge swings in temperature and weather, as it heats up to 110 degrees down here, the fibers in the barrels, they just expand, and they allow all the booze to soak into the grains of the wood. And then of course it gets cool that night, and goes back down to even if it's 90, that's 20 degree temperature swing. And just throughout the seasons, it's the lows, between the lows and the highs, there's such variation in temperature so often. As it gets cold, it squeezes the wood, the grains of the wood, and it pushes that whiskey back into the barrel, and that happens in and out, so that it ages faster than it would in Scotland or a more temperate climate.
Nice. Yeah, that's something that people don't really realize, that the storage of the barrels is pretty important, and that fluctuation in temperature contracts the wood and gives it more flavor. And I guess the bigger distilleries too, if they have a lot of barrels lined up, the ones that are on the end of the aisle get the most action, because of that there's that open space that changes the temperature on the barrels. So you got to keep rotating them into the middle or the outside, however you want to look at it. Yeah, so that's awesome. You got a lot to drink there, man. I'm gonna go in New York on you. We're going just an Alma Gang Nirvana IPA.
Awesome. How is that?
It's good. They came out a couple of years ago, and because they didn't have an IPA, they had all their beers are usually Belgian, Alma Gang Brewery, and this one's just a straight. They don't use their Belgian yeast in it. It's just a regular IPA, and it's really good. So cheers to you, Josh, and cheers to your club down there at the Extra Pint, Houston. So let's I'll drink to that one for sure. So why don't you explain to everybody? I see you got your trophy there on your left. Why don't you tell people what that is and what you use it for?
You guys have your yard, and when we were trying to do this, let me just start from the beginning, how this whole thing got started and how we got to here. We went up to the U.S. Open, myself and my father-in-law, Robert, last year, and we had a really good time, and we had a blast, and it was just a great time. And we're thinking, wouldn't it be nice to start something like that down in Texas? One problem though is that him and I both work in the airline industry, and the other guy with the board he works in oil and gas, and none of those are 9-to-5 jobs. And so starting a league like you guys have would be a goal, but it just wasn't even workable. Even if we had got 16 guys with boards, it just wasn't going to work in that format. So we settled on, why don't we just take it to the bar and once a month and just try to get people to play. and maybe eventually we get enough people with boards that somebody wants to take over, and they can go ahead and they can start a league, and I can get in there, and we can we can just get a league eventually once we get enough people involved in it. So we were looking at, you guys have the yard up there, and I was looking for something. We're Extra Pint, Houston. We got to do something along those lines. But all the yards were, that high. They were like kind of a half yard. If they were 32 ounces, they were short. They weren't the full 3 feet. I found one that was 1.2 liters in England. That was 3 feet tall. I'm like, oh my God, that's too much. Someone's going to die. That's a lawsuit right now.
Ah, you got it. That's what you should have went with.
What else is Texas, man? What about a glass Cowboy boot? And all the ones we found were just really, really corny. And a kind of thing popped into my head. It's like, Texas, we have guns. And I was searched eBay and for different sizes of shell casings. And I had to relearn the volume formula from high school. I think it's radius times pi times the height of the thing, whatever it was, to figure out exactly how many square or cubic centimeters we had in there, and then convert it to liquid fluid ounces. So we fed it on a 75 millimeter tank shell, and you fill it up with 32 ounces or 2 pints of beer. It comes up to right about here.
Okay.
This thing, because this was gunpowder in here and I've all the chemicals. Scraped the heck out of the inside of it, clean it out, and then I went ahead and coated it multiple times with something called Protected Clear, which is a food-safe lacquer. And basically you dump it in there and just swirl it around and let it dry, air dry, and I did that multiple times. And to test it, make sure I have a little water gauge, water indicator. It tells you how many particles per million are in the water. And you do it. They took just a control out of the tap water. It was like 400 parts per million, and I put it in here, 400 parts per million. So there's no leakage or anything, and it's safe to drink out of.
Wow. So is it same rules over here? You got to win a tournament or a league to be able to drink out of it?
Yep. We had our first winners of our spring tournament just before everything got shut down. Tara Mullen and Molasses Mike, we'll call them. They took the doubles champ, and Molasses won the singles. He kicked my butt. I was not having my best day.
Mark Molasses or Molasses Mark?
We'll go with either one.
He's a good dude. He's a good player too. We played you guys in the Zoom.
Yeah, no, he's on. He's very consistent. Like if he can see it, he can hit it usually. And and normally we'll go back and forth, and we're pretty even. He may be a little bit better than me.
So you can't drink out of that, right?
I can, yeah.
Why?
Oh, I can't. No, I don't drink out. I haven't won anything yet.
That's right. You can't.
No.
I can drink out of my yard.
I wasn't.
Right here.
There we go.
See that? And let's see if this Nirvana can should grace it with it. It's not 32 ounces, that's for sure. Look at all that foam.
Ooh.
That's I don't know if I can
How long is that?
just a little foamy, folks. But I'll let that calm down, and I'll be drinking out of that in a second. But yeah, so you were rocking and rolling with your club. For how long before COVID hit, and what was the whole experience? How did you find a venue that worked for you guys, and how did you go about organizing the club?
We were literally just kind of sitting around at our local watering hole, tap, draft house, and kitchen. And we go in there about once a week. We show up, so we're pretty regular, and they know us. And we'll stop in for lunch once in a while, just to grab a quick sandwich or something. And why don't we we want to play Crokinole. This would be a good place to do it, especially when nothing's going on. Because they didn't have like Tuesdays were trivia. Monday was Monday Night Football. Friday there's always things going on. Thursday there was another event, but there's really nothing on on Wednesdays. Nothing was happening. So we said, we asked the owners, hey, can we we'd show them the picture of the Crokinole board. We'd come in and bring this thing in here, just take over a couple tables in the corner on a night where you're not generally slammed, and play. They're like, yeah, sure, bring it in. It looks really interesting. We'll see what we got. Like, let me know how many people are coming, and we can block off some tables for y'all. And so that's how we got started. We just invited all our friends and family over, and a bunch of people showed up, and they really thought it was interesting. We got random people in the bar walking up all the time.
Yeah, how does that go with Texans? I mean, even in New York, which is kind of close to Canada, like we get the the same reaction. Like, what is this game? What's it like down there in Texas?
Well, saying what is this thing? And people will come up and just ask about it. And we'll take down their email address, and anytime we have an event, once a month, we'll try to send them an email and hopefully they make it back again. And it was going good. We got a lot of luck through friends at church started to come around. A couple guys, higher up in the Knights of Columbus chapter, men's charity, was starting to really take an interest into it. And we had our tournament on maybe the second week of March, just as the COVID thing was kind of starting. People started to get concerned about it, and then it got shut down after that. But that's kind of how we got started. And we don't have like the members, anybody's a member, but we got a good chunk of like at least 10.
All right, can you repeat that last part? I'm sorry, man. The connection's a little bad.
Yeah, we got about 12 people that show up pretty consistently when they can. Again, it's once a month. Falls on a day we can't do more than once a month just due to our schedules, because everybody that has a board, pretty much, there's 4 of us now that have boards, between Mark and Mike, Robert, and myself. So that's kind of the limiting factor in how many people we can handle. And we just sit there and I just bring everybody in. Hey, you want to play? You guys play. If there's too many people, then we start playing doubles, doubling people up and rotating in and out. And just everybody gets a chance to socialize and play. And it's an open night.
Yep. Now, any plans? I know that's a lot of talking to a lot of clubs. That's what's going on, but with most of them, it's just an open format. Is there any plans to go somewhat competitive or keep not scores or just like maybe like rankings or how you finish on the night, how many games you won in a night or something? Any kind of plans like that for the future?
Yeah, well, we had our first tournament, so that was our benchmark, right? So now we know we have some, subjective thing, or objective thing we can look at. Mark got first in singles. I got second. I forget if Bob or Robert got third, at least for the rankings go. So I was third seed, right? So we can, depending on who you play, if you want to keep a score, you could come up with a system as singles as far as ranking goes, at least for the top half. And our competitive comes during the tournament times. We want to have a tournament once every 6 months. It's kind of our goal. That might still happen again once this thing loosens up. But it's going to be turn people's comfort level. Hopefully we get back into the bar in July. That's the tentative plan. But a lot of our people are, can't say middle-aged and may have a risk factor. And it's going to be up to them whether they want to come back or not. We got voted down in June to come back. I suggested it, and majority of people weren't comfortable with it yet. So,
yeah, that's going to change. And that kind of is similar to their Facebook question that I put on today. Let me get it up here. Here we go. This is from Phil H. Okay, our buddy Phil. Here's his question. How do you plan to get going again after the COVID shutdown? Or if you kept going during the shutdown, how did you do it? And go ahead.
Kind of tentatively, and it wasn't the whole club. If you had a board, you could participate in the Zoom Crokinole, the COVID Crokinole, the quarantine Crokinole. So we get these Zoom cameras, and you put them across from you and aim it at your board, and then you just do a Zoom call, and you would play with the person that way. And that actually, a little slow at first, but once you got the hang of it and used to what's going on, it actually went very quickly. And we had a chance to play some guys over in UK, and that was really fun. Those guys were great. And then we played you guys up there in Voorheesville, and that was also a blast, man. That was a really good time. And that's where Mark got came, because Molasses there, him and Magic Mike went off into the breakaway room. To come back after your game is over, like an hour later that entire time. So, and Mark likes to chat a little bit, so that's why his name Molasses now.
Yeah, that's
so
how.
you can
That's
do
how
it, put a time limit on it. It's a good way to keep going. And the other way, I go to my father-in-law's house. He's got a board that's out all the time. So when we're hanging out there, we'll play a game there. We play 3 games to 8 for a set, and whoever wins that wins the night. That's usually what we get in.
How long do your Crokinole nights go at your club nights?
7 to 10. Usually it stretches to 11. We say 7 to 10. The bar closes. Food stops at 11, so give everyone a chance to come home. But I'm usually there till about 11 o'clock when the kitchen closes, and then we'll come home after there. So it's at least 3 hours. I'll show up at 6:30, set everything up. People start trickling in, or I'll just play with the bar staff after, people are getting cut and going home. They'll just hang out and they'll play a bit. So it's about 3 to 4 hours I'm there.
That's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing open, that's definitely enough amount of time. When you're playing like competitive league, time flies by, you know what I mean? But
yeah. And that was another, speaking of time, that's one thing I was concerned about when we did our first tournament, was how much time it was going to take, because I'm, kind of enthusiastic and into it. I can tolerate about, 6-7 hours of Crokinole, but a lot of the other people there, again, they're more recreational players, and that's kind of pushing it for as far as attention span for a lot of people. So the way we did it, we had how many people we have? I think we ended up with 12 people for singles, and we split them up into 2 groups of 2 groups of 6, and we kept them. They would each play at two tables, so you just kind of rotate the tables around that way. We can't have everyone play everybody, because it would just take too long. For doubles, it wasn't much of an issue because you only had 6 teams. As luck would have it, a couple people had to leave between the singles and the doubles tournament, and we ended up with 5. So it was only went up with 5 teams. So then someone had to sit out. It just things, when you run a tournament, hiccups come, little bumps in the road you got to deal with quick and do some math. But it all worked out, and the key was just keeping the time, the time in a reasonable amount, because we did have 16 people, and we thought we would at one point. What we would have done was assign 4 people per board, and just have 4 little mini round robin pools, and the winners of those would rank that way. Just to keep the time down, because if you have too many people
and not enough boards, right?
Go drag out. So you just got to kind of keep it, keep it under 6 hours. I'd say we started at I think 11:30, and we were done. I wanted to be done by about 4:35. We got done about 5:30 because there was some confusion, and with the new people, their first tournament, there was there was questions on how to score, and they had to repeat that a bunch of times, and just everyone just new to it, so they weren't quite used to it. We had to stop, put time out on the timer sometimes and go over a few things again.
So did your establishment tap? They gave you a little gift certificate, right, to
those
for the winner?
Yeah, we bought those from them. They're really good. They're really supportive of us. They let us come in there pretty much anytime we want to. That happened to be their St. Patrick's Day party, and they still let us come in there and take over a couple of tables for a few hours. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Any other members getting boards there, or planning on getting boards?
Yeah, Mark bought a Tracy board to replace his Mayday board, and so now we have 5 technically, because we asked him to hang on to his Mayday board, And that's a different thing too. I've never played on one of those before, and it was the first time he brought it. He never once waxed it, and it was like playing almost like on plywood. You just had to really push it, and the pegs in there are wood. And what happens is this.
And you're talking about a Mayday board, right?
Yeah, the Mayday board. Your disc will hit the peg. The disc will stop right there, and the peg will go flying across the room and hit somebody in the ear.
Must have been one of those lower end ones.
Yeah, but we waxed it. It's the car wax there, and we sprayed it, and we wiped it down. We got a couple of coats on it, and it smoothed out nice. The pegs though still were flying all over the place. But that's a different game because you really can't use the pegs to score off of. You can't do any ricochet shots. It was kind of tough. So he went out and bought a Tracy board, and now he's really good now.
Yeah, the Tracy boards are and the other high quality boards are very consistent. That's the main thing. There's not a rough patch or nothing. It's very smooth all the way around. So
yeah, I have a Willard, and I had issues getting it fast. And I don't know if I had too much wax, not enough, not the right one. But I remember I was kind of like, this thing isn't just, it's not quite as fast as the boards I played on up at the U.S. Open. And I brought it to the bar. It was, it's 90-something degrees out, and the humidity is always 70+%. And just from that, as it got hot, just in the car, the 10-minute drive to the bars, I brought it inside. I put that thing down and just pushed the disc. I just kind of touched it, and it slid right across the one side of the board to the other, and I hardly had to touch it. It was almost too fast. It was like lightning. So I don't know what that was. The grains of wood expanded, or just enough moisture attached itself to the cold board that it just loosened up the wax a little bit, the viscosity, and that thing just was flying, man.
Yeah.
So we're talking about how to make your board fast. If you put wax on it and it's still not quite fast enough, I just suggest sprinkle a little bit of water on there with it and wipe it down with that and see what that does.
After you wax and buff, you spray out like a little water, like a really small amount of water on it?
If it's still not after you put that wax on it, or that Mother's Carbonua Gold Mother's wax there, if it's still not fast enough, I would just say put a little sprinkle of water on it and rub that and see if that works. Because I'm sure that's what happened when I took it outside, because it was the cold board coming from my house. It was 72 degrees. Out into 96-degree heat with 80% humidity for 10 minutes, and went back into the cold.
Yeah, that definitely happens down there in Houston.
Yeah.
Wait, what's your shirt say? That was your this year's your team name, right?
Supposed to be our team. Come and flick it.
There are your beer cans in the way.
Oh, there you go. Come and flick it.
And that's from Come and Take It, right?
Play on Come and Take It. The unofficial Texas motto.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I had shirts made too for Magic Mike's and my team. It was fun. Herhuth Designs, by the way. If you want Crokinole shirts, go to them. herhuthdesigns.com.
Yep. Got a couple.
Yeah, for sure. So, Josh, my beer. Look at this thing, man. Like it's
still
the foam, like it's too hot out here or something, and the foam kind of stuck. But there's only a little bit in there anyway. But let me just take a little sip. I can, because I am a extra pint champion.
Pint champion.
Several times, maybe 3 times. Hold on here. It's an art form right here.
It is an art form. You're gonna get foam all over your beard.
Cheers. It's definitely a warm glass, that's for sure. All right, Josh, I got a little surprise for you.
All right.
All right, so I know you were in the finals, right, of your singles match over at and you put the video up on your YouTube channel, or your club's YouTube channel, and that is Extra Pint Texas, right?
Crokinole, Texas. I'll put I'll send you the link so you can put it in the description. You'll see me.
Oh, I got it. But here, let's we're gonna put your match up here, okay? And you and I are gonna commentate, and you're gonna give a a little play-by-play here. All right, let's see if I can do this right. And you tell me if it looks good, okay?
Yep.
Hold on here.
Got to put up my semifinal match with Bob.
This is the finals here. Don't give it away. All right. This is the second video. All right, picking right up again. Here, let me try this one more time here. There it is. Why didn't it do that before? Now, can you see this?
No. Oh, wait, hang on. Something's coming up. Yep.
How about this right here?
Yep, I see it now.
You got a full screen?
Yeah.
All right. So you got your beer open. We're going to watch this video, and I'm going to critique you and give you crap about what you should have done and what you did good, all right?
That's a good way to go. Educational.
According to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Constructive.
This is was it March 14th? This is the singles finals in your club for your first tournament ever. You guys were a club for not even half a year yet at this point, so.
Yeah, about 6 months to build up to it, and then we had our first tournament.
All right. So the only thing we don't have on here is a scoreboard or a 20 counter, so we got to keep track of that.
Our 20 counter, at least from it's not smooth. It's kind of herky-jerky.
Right, so you're up at 20 there. That was a good 20. Oh, there's
20.
more.
Yeah, we got the 20. I think that's the last open 20 I made the entire time, and that was my weak. That
was a weak game.
That was my weak point during the tournament. Yeah, I was not hitting opens, and that wasn't a bad leave there. It's on my side of the board.
No. So let's see here. Okay, not bad. Let's see how we do it here. That's a tough leave too for anybody, especially like so. Mark's down a 20 here too, so he's got to make something happen.
But, he has the hammer, so I need to get up on 20. So I'm trying to play aggressive.
You're up. You're up. Oh no, you guys are even. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
Hammer.
All right, here we go. He's the hammer. Okay. Uh-oh. That was a bad leave.
It was a very bad leave. I was trying to just stick it there, go the other way with it.
All right.
And now I have to go over the darn hole.
All right, you peeled it. That's not a terrible result.
Yeah, I think I peeled it there.
Yeah, because you probably would have played it the whole time anyway.
Yeah, and he has a good lead. I can't really score off of that one.
Oh! Let's see here. Were you nervous just because you wanted to win your first tournament here? Oh, that was almost a beauty.
Almost.
Were you trying to do that? Were you trying to do that, Josh?
Yeah, I was trying to bank it in. I think this first game was my best out of the 4 rounds.
First round?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got you anyway, right? So
yeah, he got that one
there, and so basically for a tie. But all right, Mark's up 2-0. We'll go. We'll go one more round here, and then we'll stop. But
all right, thank you.
I watched this before, and I knew there was a couple of times I wanted to call you up and scream at you for a couple of things that you could have done to help yourself. But
is the frame rate slow on your end too, or just?
No, on my end it looks pretty smooth. It's just our connection is probably a little.
Okay, yeah, it's probably.
But this is cool though. I hope it comes out all right on our little video here.
Yeah, if it's on your end, it should be fine.
Oh yeah.
I kept peeling when I didn't want to. I had poor speed control.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, I keep peeling these things off and just giving him opens, and he just hammered me, and it was entirely my fault.
Well, you were playing good all day until the final table, so.
I was good all day. I did not have my best day because I was constantly looking over my shoulder and just worrying about what everybody else was doing. People were losing their score sheets, not understanding how to score. One is tie, two if you win. Like a bunch of other things were happening, and at this point I was calmer because there's really nothing. We were the only show in town at the moment, but I just did not have a good night. I kind of pulled myself together in the semis against Bob, who went up. It was the first to 5 points, and he went up 4-0. He won the first 2 games, and I come back and somehow pulled it out of my backside.
Huh. Yeah, it's tough when you're like, you're organizing. Oh, that was a nice double take out there. It was, when you're organizing a tournament or a night, and then you should, like, I expect people to know what to do, and I shouldn't. You know what I mean? And then when people like because you spend time to like explain in the beginning or whatever, and then people still have questions, which is going to happen. And that kind of like you have to monitor everybody, and like you're not really concentrating on your game, but it's one of the disadvantages for running a club, but it's also way better to like run the club. So oh, you're off. All right, listen, I'll spare you the rest of the. How did the rest of the match go?
All four rounds there.
So he got you 8-0.
Yeah, he got me 8-0. If you want that wasn't the best Crokinole play in the planet on my part. Mark was on the whole day, and he was doing good, but I don't know if we should count it because he doesn't drink.
Yeah. That's got to be some kind of handicap.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking that much too the whole night time we were there, from like 11 o'clock till 5 or 6 when we left. I only had 2 beers while we were playing, so I wasn't appreciates the win by any means.
Yeah, the thing is though, I went to Belleville and I wasn't. I'm used to, obviously, right, the Extra Pint Crokinole Club, like this is the atmosphere that we play in. We're usually like playing with some beers and stuff. And even at the Worlds, we were in the parking lot sneaking, because we were up there just having a great time as like, a bunch of friends going up there playing Crokinole. Well, I went to Belleville and, I wasn't, we had a long league night the night before, but, it was just no drinking there, which is totally fine. And I actually played like a little. I will admit it, not a lot better, but I definitely was more sharper in my decision making. My decision making later on in the day, you know what I mean? Like it's when
like darts. You have one. Your performance will go up, and then it kind of levels off after 1.5, and then all of a sudden it goes straight down.
Right. Well, yeah. No, I know it's like that. I said this before. I think I was trying to tell Jeremy Tracy when he was on here. Do you remember that Golfer's Digest article? Like it was a big thing, like how they said that like 2 drinks helps your putting, and they had like all this science behind it. And do you remember that article when it came out?
It's true. They did this, and they did a NASA study on pilots as well, and they found that 1 drink's worth of alcohol actually improved performance in the simulator. But that's it. Once you have more, it starts to degrade. So it's something universally true through most things. A little bit, whatever it does, it just lowers your inhibitions just enough, changes your blood pressure, whatever the physiology is behind it. It will help you, but it just to a little bit. Once you start pounding them down, it's over. So I would like to have been a part of that stuff.
Yeah, I want to see the experiment. They're like, okay, here's this rocket simulator. We're gonna start you off with 6 beers and like half an hour, and then let's see how you get to the moon. And like that was It's so funny to be
Well,
flying in space loaded.
they had a control, and then they did it a bunch of times with a bunch of different groups. So it was like a real, honest to God study about it, and performance increased after a beer, and decreased slightly after two. But once they started to get 3 or 4 beers in them, then you could notice it going down. It's the same thing with driving. You don't want to get drunk and drive, because obviously you're impaired there. Same thing with everything else.
How many? Do you know how many beers they gave him? Like, what was like? Okay, this is the last one.
I don't know how far they took it. I think they took it to the point where they could establish a statistical measurement that yes, it's now degraded, and they
like
just
blood alcohol level or breathalyzer or something.
Yeah, they did it to 0.0 whatever. But anyway, we don't frequently fly, so they won't let us do that. Now, Air France, some of the European countries do not have the same regulations we do. The French actually, their pilots are allowed 1 glass of wine in international airspace, where they do their thing once a day. So if they're going from Paris to New York, those pilots are allowed 1 glass of wine with their meal, but that's it.
While they're flying the plane?
Yep.
Wow.
That in the U.S. no way, but
I wouldn't think any whatever like regulation in any part of the world be like, you can have a glass of wine, sure, but like
not again. You're not talking a 5-ounce glass either. I think you're talking like 2 ounces or 3 ounces with their dinner.
Jeez, that's pretty interesting, man.
Yeah, but again, they're not impaired any more than you're impaired if you have 1 beer at a restaurant and drive home. So yeah, it's shocking your pilot is drinking. Not in the U.S. they're not, but in Air France, they may have a glass of wine, but it doesn't impair safety. So.
It doesn't matter how long the flight is, or did you say that?
I don't know. I don't know their regs. I just know on international flights, we've been told by the Air France pilots that yeah, they get a glass of wine.
Did you ask them to do like many of them like take advantage of that, or do they?
Oh, it's all the crew meal comes in its own kind of package. Like here's your crew meal,
and here's your wine with your crew meal.
Again, that's foreign airline, man. They don't play by the same rules here. In other countries, airlines, you can still go up to the cockpit in the middle of the flight. 9/11 never happened to them. So, yeah, foreign airlines are a whole different world, man. So,
I wonder what Ireland's regulations are.
Similar to U.S.
Right. I'm just joking there. So, any since you're you're an organizer that just started up a new club. Do you have any advice for anyone that might be thinking about starting a new club?
Yeah, it really depends on how many boards you have and what everyone's schedule is that has the boards. So, and you don't just need to be a new club. If you're an established club and just want to, get new members or kind of grow the game, go to your local watering hole and just say, hey, once a week or once a month, we want to come in and just do an open house and just have people play and just kind of grow the game a little bit. I think that's a really good idea. Right now we're just a tap, so there's a couple other places around. That 11 Below Brewery would be a good place to get some traction. They got a bunch of picnic tables and some tables in there that we could use, and there's a couple other places around that are smaller than tap, like they're bars. Like there's a half bar, half whiskey bar, but they got perfect card-sized tables in there. You could right in the corner. And you could sit in there and play. So there's a couple places where you could go in and definitely get people's attention.
So you want them to go to local bars or local, whatever they're comfortable with doing, but generally a place where a lot of people go to relax and just have some fun.
Tapped is it's a family, more of a restaurant with a bar than a bar with a restaurant.
Right.
They have a big menu. They got 50 beers on tap, but there's no riffraff in there. It's all working class people that have got off work and they bring their families. and their dogs or whatever, and chill out. So it's a good, middle class environment.
And it brings in, like you say, you got people coming up and checking out the game. And
yeah, we got a lot of kids that come in with families. They come over and play, and the parents want to see it. Or just some other guys. There's a runners club that would go there, and they're all piled in there. So we got a bunch of their attention. So you can kind of grow it. And right now we're just advertising the other thing. Right now we just advertise it on their Facebook page and on YouTube. I'm just going to do the old-fashioned thing: print up some flyers and and make a QR code and print that out on the flyer so people can just go and scan the QR code to go to the Facebook and the YouTube.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a good idea to do that. I don't know how do you do that?
I Googled it. You just there's a website you can go to. You basically copy and paste your link, and it creates a QR code for you as like a JPEG file or something like that. And you kind of save that and put that on your flyers, and you scan it, and it brings it to your website.
When you coming up to Extra Pint Voorheesville again?
Plan on coming up at the end of July for a visit, and again at the end of August when that the golf tournament was supposed to be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
I want to do what do you call it? I want to do a fundraising tournament for the Legion outside, outside of their establishment, and I think it's going to be around that time. So hopefully I'll time it when you guys are up here.
Yeah,
it's not going to be obviously it's not going to be a super huge turnout, but I want to do a tournament and then have all the entry fees go to them, and we can buy their beer and stuff while we're there just to help them out.
Yeah, I saw the hopefully things start loosening up there rather quick, because I see the data for New York State. It's definitely on the downtrend for the number of virus cases. Keep going down.
Yeah, it's that data. That fucking pisses me off. All the different types of data you get, and it's up and down, and what do you something this day, it's not the same the next day. This is good, this is not good, and then the next day
everybody develop herd immunity. We don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other little podcast we could do.
Yeah.
But Josh from Houston, man, thanks for taking the time out and hanging out with us.
Hey, you're welcome.
I know everyone to go. I'm going to put all this information in the description. They have a Facebook page. They have a YouTube channel, and all those links are going to be in the description. But go check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. Once they get up and running again, they're going to have a few videos up there. Show some support.
It's a group, so just anybody can join the group. We're just talking about Crokinole. If you're in Texas or not, don't matter. We'll just post things every now and then. There's not a whole lot to talk about right now, but once we get going, we'll put more stuff up. And we're thinking of doing there's videos out there how to play Crokinole. We're thinking of putting one of those out just for our clubs and the new people.
Are you going to speak in Texas?
I can talk like this if you want to.
Yeah. Do it like that. And all the Texans out there that could be watching this, come on. Give those guys a shot and make the trip down, and you'll enjoy yourself for sure.
Yep.
All right, man. Thanks again. Enjoy that Scotch brandy or whatever it is. All right, buddy.
That's
Cheers.
Great. Have a good one. Take care.